Chair recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Fallon.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is about common sense. For 2 years, our constituents have been calling our office and wondering why the IRS, the Social Security Administration, the VA aren't answering their phones. Why can't they get in-person meetings with federal workers? Why have they, have they to talk to a robot on the phone for hours or wait for months on one end just for an email to update their case? Well, today, folks, House Republicans are going to stop the lackadaisical policies of the Biden administration. The Show Up Act is a wonderful bill that I'm proud to support, and it's going to make an end to COVID an actual reality. Federal workers should do the same thing that the private sector industry has done, which is they've gotten back to work for over 18 months in large measure. And it's time the federal workers get back to work and start serving the American people to their full capacity. This bill requires federal agencies to return to the 2019 pre-pandemic telework levels within 30 days. Reasonable common sense. Requires federal agencies need to, show up to Congress and show them how pandemic-era telework impacted their missions. And finally, the bill requires new oversight for agencies that seek to expand telework. This oversight will help save money and create jobs outside the D.C. Beltway. It's important to stress that this bill is not some radical notion. We're not ending all telework, and we're just snapping back to 2019 pre-pandemic levels and ensuring a reasonable pathway for agencies to retain telework employees and under the right conditions allow for expansion of telework. The bottom line is the pandemic is over. The American people need federal government to function. In order to do that, we need our workers back. The IRS has failed to get Americans the refunds in a timely manner for 3 years running, and as late as last year still had 12.4 million returns to process. The Veterans Affairs Administration has hundreds of thousands of backlog claims. 30 more seconds.
Yeah, yield 30 seconds.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Veterans Affairs Administration has hundreds of thousands of backlog claims. As for the Social Security Administration, the Washington Post states more than 1 million disabled Americans, many of them poor and elderly, are waiting months or years to hear whether they will receive benefits. Processing times have doubled in some states, almost tripled in others. So long as the American people are not getting the services this government is mandated to provide, we are not operating a government for, by, and of the people. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.